Morning all, and due to the personal emergency, I won't meet you like today, so I upload this video for you to continue our course on the new chapter, which is chapter 14, JavaFX Basics. And in this video, I will first talk about some basic content for the JavaFX, and then I will talk about homework 1, since I know that, and also I saw there are a lot of late assignments for homework 1. So let's begin this video. In previous course, we have talked about abstract class and interfaces, and also learned about how Java implement this idea in the Java library with the calendar example, and also another example is a number example. And in this case, we are actually familiar with how these two techniques, abstract class and interface, are used in Java program. And basically, the most important thing is that you should know the abstract class is especially the scenario that when you should use the abstract class or the interface. For abstract class, it is actually used to define the basic relationships between the two objects, like a person, and you can define a class person, and then define another class, which is the instructor or student, and extend from the person, which is you can use the abstract class. But for interface, it is actually used to define some secondary and peripheral properties of the objects. So, for example, you can define the define a programming class, programming interface, and then let the instructor and the student implement this interface, which indicates that both the instructor and the students are have the property of program using the Java program. And in this case, that's how we explain the the difference between the abstract class and the interface, although there are a lot of difference between them, but this is the most important difference. And here, let's continue on our course. And for today, we would like to learn about the JavaFX basics. And for JavaFX, it is actually like a framework for developing Java GUI programs, which is called the graphic user interface. And you probably will find it very interesting, since you can interact with a lot of pre-code components, like the window and the image, and see technically you will see a lot of feedback from the program, not only the not only just output some message in the command line, and you can use JavaFX to manipulate with the windows, and also a lot of components like button, radio button, and also menus and those stuff. You can actually create an application through JavaFX as you like. And the JavaFX API is actually an excellent example of how the object-oriented principle is applied. So as we have mentioned, this is actually a pre-built Java library, JavaFX, and you can use it to. Of course, Java will apply the object-oriented principle in the implementation of JavaFX, using the abstract class and the interface we have learned in previous course. And okay, this chapter serves two purposes, as we have mentioned. First, it presents the basics of JavaFX, and then it will use JavaFX to demonstrate the object-oriented program, how it works in JavaFX. And especially the most important thing is that this chapter introduces the framework of JavaFX and discusses JavaFX like GUI components and their relationships. Like, okay, let's continue to next slides. And we can see that the objectives for today's video is that we need to like distinguish between JavaFX Swing and AWT, which fortunately I have used both Swing and AWT before in previous version of Java library. Actually, both of them are very useful GUI like programming library, but actually right now we are learning the JavaFX. JavaFX is the most recent GUI programming tool for Java, programming library for Java, and you can use it to program like GUI programs. If you are interested, you can still like dive into the Swing and the AWT. I believe Java still have these two like library available in JDK, so you can still use it. But for now, we just learn the newest version of the GUI programming library JavaFX. We need to like understand the basic structure of JavaFX program and how to use components and how to use layout to like how to use the layout to like organize the components in the JavaFX, and also learn about some simple like drawing like strategies in JavaFX, and see like how that, and also a lot of like a simple examples you can use in today's course. Okay, here's a comparison between the JavaFX and the Swing and AWT. And the Swing and the AWT are replaced by a JavaFX platform for developing rich internet applications. As you can see that since the JavaFX contains a lot of like beautiful components and windows, and also like beautiful displays, so you can use. So it is actually called the rich internet applications library in this case. And when Java was introduced, the GUI classes were bundled in a library, which is AWT, Abstract Windows Toolkit. And AWT is fine for developing a simple GUI applications, but not for developing comprehensive GUI projects. And also AWT is prone to platform specific with related bugs in the intrinsic operating systems. And this is the the drawbacks of AWT. And and then next Java started to improve the AWT, and they replaced the AWT with a more robust and versatile and flexible library, which is the Swing components. And the Swing components are painted directly on canvas using the Java code, and it depends on less on the target platform, and use less of the native GUI resources. So it is actually like cross-platform, more cross-platform, as the property of Java is to implement the cross-platform applications. And Swing is actually replaced. Recently, Swing is replaced by the JavaFX. JavaFX is the newest version of a GUI library. And let's see the basic structure of JavaFX through some simple example, like the My JavaFX and also the multiple stage demo. For a simple JavaFX, it is actually, you can call it, you need to implement from the application class, and then override the start method in the application class, and then use the stage to like include those scenes and nodes, which is the nodes represents the components in JavaFX. And let's have a look at the example. My JavaFX, and another one is the multiple stage demo. Okay, let's see. For my JavaFX, you can see that we need to extend from this application class, which is the class in JavaFX library. And you can see those code inside this application.class file, which is compiled for you to use. And after you extend from the application, it will automatically remind you to override the start function. And the start function, you can see that it takes one parameter, which is stage. And the stage is also another class from JavaFX package. It is used to I will say include all the content inside the for JavaFX. And next, in order to organize the component, you need to create a scene. A scene is actually like a canvas, you can draw a lot of components on it, and then you will need to add the scene to the primary stage and display the stage. And here we only created a simple component, which is a button OK. And for the scene, it actually contains the we used the constructor, default constructor of the scene to include the button here. You can see that otherwise you need to, excuse me, to take some time to pop up. Add. You can use the scene the method inside of the scene to add the components. This is the basic how you can add one components into the scene with the specific size, like the width and height here. And for the primary state, we set some description with the title, and also set the content, and also display it. And remember, this main method is only needed for IDE with limited JavaFX support, not needed for running from the command line. So if you use Java C and Java directly from the command line, you don't need this main function. And if you are using the IDE, you need to use this main function to launch the application here. This is the launch function from the application, so you can directly use it. So let's see what we can have here. You can see that this is a basic, excuse me, need to move the application here. You can see this is a basic JavaFX application. It has a button and OK, which is here, and it's actually taken all the space inside of the scene, of course, also inside of the primary stage. So you can see that this is a very large button, and its size will be automatically adjust when you increase the size of the window or decrease the size of the window. This is very interesting. And also the next example is the multiple stage demo. So we have seen that we can have the one primary stage and add the button OK. And next we can also add more stage into the JavaFX application in this case. And you can see that for the first part, it is similar to the previous example. And the second part, what we have done is that we have defined a new stage and set the title to the name to the second stage. And for this stage, we have created a new scene here. Add another button and set the location of the stage and display the stage. And let's see what would be the result here. Okay, you can see that. Actually, this one is a little tricky since we only see one button here, right? The reason is that actually the primary stage will like override the new stage here. So let's see how we can modify it to display the excuse me. Okay, excuse me. Okay, when I run this program, it will actually display it in another screen. So give me 1 minute. I will show you that what is happening here. Actually, we have like two stage here, and you can see that two stage wisdom, and you can actually treat the stage as a simple window here. And for one application, it will have like a multiple stage, which means it can have multiple like windows here. And you can see that the property of these two windows are basically the same, so no big difference in this case. So in this in JavaFX, you can just treat the stage as a windows as a window in like compared with the Swing and AWT. They call a typical like typical they call it like a window in this case. So it is like actually a different I will say different definition for the but with the same property. You can just treat the stage as a simple window here in this case. Okay, let's continue. And next we have seen the like basic how we can add the components to the scene, and then add the scene typical like a scene components to the stage in this case. And we can see the hierarchical structure of the basic like a UI controllers, like a stage, scene, and a node, and pen, and also the other like UI controls like a shape and an image view and control. In this case, you can see that for the like a pen, we will talk about it later, which is used for organize the layout of the components in JavaFX. And for the scene, excuse me, and for the shape, image, and view, image view, and the control, and those stuff are used for the shape and image view is used to like control the like components inside the I will say control the typical components. Like for the shape, it is used to control the like different shapes like a circle, rectangle, and all those stuff. And the image view, of course, you can tell from the name, it is used for displaying image in this case. Those two like components are belong to the node, which is typical like name for the components inside the JavaFX. And also you can see that the like the level the I will say the level of the all those components in a typical JavaFX application is that the stage is always at the top level and include everything. And then the next level is the scene, and the next level, which is the like UI I will say how to say this? This is a like organization like components, which is called the parent, which includes the pen and the control, and it is used to organize the components. And for the nodes, it actually contains all the components like the button and the image view and the shape. in this case. And let's look at the simple example, bottom in the pen. And you can see that for this example code, we actually added one more thing for this, one more like a component for in this example, which is a stack pen here. And the stack pen is you can tell from the name, it will stack the components one on top of another. So in this case, you can use the like the building function pen.get children.add to add the component into this like a stack pen. And for this typical example, we are using also using a simple bottom here. And for the thing here, we have also created this the thing to like include all the like parent components, which is a stack pen we defined here, and with the specific like size. And we added the thing to the primary stage and also launch the application. And actually, don't worry about the so you have seen a lot of new stuff like stack pen, and also the thing, and also the primary stage. And actually, it is a very, I would say, fixed format for a typical JavaFX application. So you can just memorize those like stuff. It will be like it is very like a very it is very like a concrete like structure. So you can actually follow it without like do any like modification for this part. And you can see that for this example, we can have a look. Excuse me. Okay, you can see that the difference is that we have the stage, and inside of the stage we have the thing and also the stack pen. And for the stack pen, it is actually like it contains a bottom OK here, and for the OK, it is actually the like default size of the OK. And the OK actually this size, the OK of this OK. Excuse me, the size of this OK bottom is actually similar to the size of the stack pen. So the button is actually take all the space inside the stack pen in this case. And what you can do is that you can also change the size of the button here. Let me see if we can do this or not. Oh, we cannot do this. Let's do it like in another way. What we can do is that minimum height 100. Wise. Those two functions are used to like set the minimum like height and width for the OK button. So you can directly tell the functionality of from the function name, which is very like straightforward. Oh, excuse me. We actually need to set the like the size for the for the pen to like let you like see the difference. Also. And let's look at it. Okay. I will try to modify the size. What I want to do is try to like show you that we can actually change the size of the OK button here. But for now, I think it is like restricted by the size of the pen here. So never mind. We will talk about it in the later examples for how to change the size. Just like we can continue on the next topic now. So actually for the like we have talked about like how to use like a simple pen to include the components and then like include those components into a like typical like stage of JavaFX application. And the next we would like to talk about how to like control the location of the components. And in Java, it actually has its own coordination systems. Like here, start from the left up corner, it is actually the original point, which is a 0, 0. And from the left to the right, which is the x-axis. And from the up to from the up to down, which is the y-axis. And you can see that for both direction, it only have the positive numbers, positive values for the both the y-axis and the x-axis. And you can see that it is different from the traditional like coordination system in this case. So just remember, and this is the coordination system for Java, like JavaFX in this case. That you can actually organize the location of the components according to the like this coordination system, and just assign the value for x-axis and for the y-axis. And let's look at the example show circle here. And for this example, what you can notice that we have a lot of familiar code here. The start function and also the main function, which has a launch to launch the application. And inside the start function, it has one parameter, which is stage. And a lot of like code to, you can see here that we create the scene and then set the basic information for the primary stage and add the scene to the primary stage and display the stage. And in this case, the difference is that we also created a circle. And the circle is the typical like the JavaFX components. You can directly use it from the JavaFX library. And also you can see that we have set a lot of like properties for the circle, which is the center X and the center Y, and the radius and the stroke, which is the color of the edge of the circle. And also we can set the like the property of the inside of the circle. And also we create another pen, which is a basic pen here, which is used to like organize the components. And we added the circle to this pen, and also added the pen to the scene here we created. And this is the like basic steps how you can program Java. Just remember this. Okay, it is a little hard for me to move it from here. Okay, let's see that. You can see that since we have set the fixed coordination like location of the circle, which is 100 and 100, so the circle will stay here. It won't automatically adjust the position of the circle. Won't automatically adjust its position by itself when we like enlarge the window or shrink the window. And in this case, we can also make some like change here. Like, oh, excuse me, 150, it will be larger, so we can see the change like more clearly. Okay, as you can see that we actually move the circle to another place by setting the like a different location for the center point. And we can also change the radians. And let's see what we can have here. Okay, we have a large circle here, as you can see. So this is a basic circle components, which is can show you that how the coordination system works in JavaFX. So next, let's continue on the some like interesting properties of JavaFX. So as you can see that it is hard for us to move the circle like according to the when we changing the size of the window, right? The circle won't like adjust the location, adjust the location of it itself when we change the size of the window. Here we would want to introduce like an interesting property, which is a binding property. This concept like enables a target object to be bound to a source object. So if the value in the source object changes, and the target of property will also change automatically. And the target property is called the binding object or binding like property. And the reason we have this is that we want to, as we have mentioned, we want the circle to like change its location automatically according to the like size, according to the size of the window. So we have the example here. Let's see how it works. Show circle like centered. Okay, it's here. And okay, we have the most of the code are similar to previous example. You can see the only difference is that you can see we have the we need to use a binding property, right? And for a circle, it actually has like the center X and the center Y property, which is two property you can use to like do the binding like process. And in this case, you will actually bind the property with bind the central point of the circle with the like the center point of the pen. As you can see that you can easily see the here for this statement, it actually gets the y's property and then divided by 2, and it gets height property and divided by 2. And in this case, the circle will always stay in the center of the window in this case. And this is the only two difference. And previously, I actually used a fixed like a center point like location, right? And let's see what we will have here. And you can see that when we change the size of the pen, and you can see that this circle will automatically adjust the center point, right? Which is very convenient for you. So you don't have to worry about the like the size, the the location of the circle. It will always stay in the center of this window, which is very interesting. Of course, you can bind the property with bind the center point with other property, which is completely okay. But here we just want to show you that how we can like automatically adjust the center point of the circle to show you that how we can use this binding property. And some description about the binding property. And we can actually see two examples here, two pieces of code here. And the first part is that we have some class name, which is defined by ourselves. And we defined like a property type, which is X. And for this, we have the get and set function for this property. And also we have the property getter method to let you like get the property as a property type in this case. And for another class, which is the circle, and inside of the circle we have the double property, which is the center x. Only this is an example, so we only use the center x double property inside of the circle. And we can also use the get set function to get the value of the center x. And also we have the center x property function to get the center x property. And actually we can have a look at this function, which is the center x property, right? It will return the center x, and the center x is actually the double property here. And the double property is actually like a wrapper class for that's defined in JavaFX to be used as a property like a data type for you to like control for you to like automatically like adjust the size of the components. Otherwise, in Swing and AWT, you need to like manually create a code to adjust the location. So it will be very like inconvenient. So that's why Java FX implemented this like property for you to like help you like with this functionality. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Yeah, we have the unidirectional binding and also bidirectional binding. So we would like to show the more properties about the binding like property. So let's see two examples here, which is the binding demo and the bidirectional binding demo. And we have the binding demo and bidirectional binding demo. And first, let's look at the binding demo here. And we have the two double property. We define it. This is for demonstration. So we just directly use the double property in the JavaFX. And for this example code, we have the main function, and inside the main function, we have used the double property and D1 and D2, and which is a simple property with the initial value. You can see 1 and 2 in this case. So we have then we use D1 to bind D2 in this case. So when D2 changes, the D1 will also change in this case. So first we output the value of both D1 and D2, and then we set the value for D2 and see if D1 will also change its value or not. And you can see that first of all, D1 and D2 are both 2.0. In this case, when you use the bind function, the value of D2 will override the value initial value of D1 in this case. This is first output. And then for the second output, actually we change the value of D2 to 70.2 in this case. And we can see that also for D1, it will automatically change the value by itself. It will change the value according to the value of D2 in this case. And if okay, we did this. Let's do some like simple like test here. If we change back the value of D1, what would happen here? Let's see. So you can see that we can actually we cannot like change the value of D1 in this case. So the value of D1 is actually bind with D2, so we can only like change D2's value in this case. This is the difference. And another example that if like we use the bi-directional binding here using this function, which is bi-directional binding. And let's see what would happen. And we change the value of D1 and then change the value of D2. Okay, as you can imagine, that the expectation is that when we change, we can change either value, and the other value will change accordingly. So that's the like the that's actually meet our expectation, as we can see that if we change D1 to 50.1, D2 will also change, And if we change D2 to 17.2, D1 will also change in this case. So this is very simple, and let's see if we change it. So since there is bidirectional binding, so we can actually like change it anywhere. It won't report any error here. You can see the difference before previous like demo. And the reason why we show this property here is that this is actually a very like new property of JavaFX. We don't have this in in Swing and AWT, and you can actually directly use it to bind the property of two components. So in a way that if you like adjust the size of the window, or if you like adjust if you want to start two components to like correlate with each other, so it will be very convenient for you to use this binding property. Okay, next, which is common properties and methods for nodes. And this property is used for like to set the like the style of the nodes, which nodes is actually the components, right? You can treat it like a simple like button or anything, any components, like GUI components, and you can like set the style of the JavaFX node, and also like simply rotate a node and change the attitude of the node. And we can actually use this example here, simple example here, which is the node style rotate demo. Let's see how we can manipulate with with the components. Node style, node style rotate demo. Okay, it's here. And you can see here we have this demo and a lot of familiar code here, right? We extend from the application and the main function. We have the launch and with the parameter args. And inside of the start function, we override the start function. We have the stage, primary stage, and we have the stack pan. And we would like to define the button, which is the button OK button, still the OK button. And then we would like to set the style of this button with like a CSS like type like a string here. Like this is actually the you can like look up it from the document. For here, we just use a simple like example here. We would like to change the border color of the button, and then add the button to the stack pan. And for the pen, we can also change the style. We can like rotate the pen and set the border color and the background color with the like specific color we chosen here, and also add those stuff add the stack pen into the scene, and add the scene into the stage, which are very like familiar code here. Okay, you can see that this is actually the difference here, right? You can actually change the border color of the pen, and also change the border color of the bottom here, OK bottom, and rotate rotate the OK bottom here. This is very convenient, interesting for you to manipulate with components. And you can see that even though we didn't set the size of the stack pan, the stack pan is actually will automatically adjust to the size of the window. You can see. So that's the the property of the stack pan. It will automatically take over all the space inside of the window, inside of the stage. So this is basically the property of the stack pan, and also the simple button. Of course, you can actually apply this CSS style to all the components inside of the JavaFX library. Okay, some more information about the color class. And for the color class, it is actually it is also inside the JavaFX library, and it has a lot of properties. And like the red RGB color, for a typical RGB color, it have the red, green, and blue like value to indicate the like a typical color, to indicate a typical color, and the opposite to indicate if the the opposite of this of the typical color. And we have a lot of like constructor functions for the color class. Like we can directly give all those properties and to the color class, and also some other functions like make create a color that is a brighter version of this color and create color that is darker version of this color. You can directly use a brighter and a darker function here. And this is for the color class. And for the font class, and those two classes are actually related with the style of the components in, I would say, in the JavaFX. And for the font class, it actually has the size, the name, and the font family, which are, as if you have used those, used the Microsoft Office software before, you can actually familiar with these stuff, those stuff like size, name, and family, those stuff. And let's see a simple demo, which is a font demo, to like show you how we can use the demo, use the font inside the JavaFX. For the font demo, you can see that we have the we also have a lot of familiar code here, which is the basic structure of the JavaFX application. And here we have used a simple like a stack pan here. As we can see that this definition, it's a very like a typical like a property we learned from previous chapter, which is the as the stack pan extends from the pan class. You can see, so we can directly use the parent class as the I would say the placeholder to define the object, and then initialize the object as the subclass here. And also we created a circle and set its property. And we use the new like component here, which is a label, and you can see, and we set the label with give a label with a string content, and set the font of the label, which we can directly use the like the static function of the font to create like a font to use excuse me, for the label. And then you can see that for the we have the like family string font family name, and font also the like font weight and font posture, and also the font size, which is the last one, and here. And for this part, we can, of course, we can also use set style, and then you can set the like a typical like a CSS style with the typical with a predefined like string like format, and then add those components to the pan, and then add those stuff into the scene. So it's a very like conventional process. Excuse me. Okay, it's here. So as you can see that for this part, it is actually like we have the font, we have the a circle, and on top of the circle we have the JavaFX label. And you can see that, as I have mentioned, for the stack pan, it will actually stack the components one on top of another. So this is the property of the stack pan here. And for here, you can see like for the property of the circle, it actually is binding. It is actually binding with the like window here. You can actually change the this size change the size of the window, and the circle will automatically adjust the place here. And we should see like this font demo here. And let's continue. And then next, which is the image class. And for this image class, it is actually used to show like to show an image and also to manipulate the property of the image. Like it can like change the height and the width of the property of the image in this case, and also you can create the image using the the constructor by given like a location of the file location as a URL for the image class in this case. Okay, we can stop here, and then I will start to like show you about the homework one, some properties, some like content about the homework one. And okay, enough for the we will like continue all the content in the next course. And let's see what we have here. Okay, actually for homework one, it is I don't know it will be that difficult in this case. It actually have three problems, and for each of the problem, you can actually directly use reuse a lot of code inside the example code actually. So I don't think it will be that like let's say difficult. So for the first example, you have the like it asks you like to like write a program, compute sum Java, to like compute the sum of the like to between of the inputted between the inputted two integers, and the like the typical like the equation is that you need to like compute the exponential value of the value between n1 to n2, and also like with the exponential exponent is actually entered by also by you with as a float point number exp, and this is the like program that typically asks you to do. And what you can do is that you can actually use the excuse me, I need to like get the example code. Okay, this is the input mismatch like demo, right? You can actually use this demo to how to say directly use 80% of the code of this demo. You can see this demo is actually it contains the input mismatch exception, which is exactly what we want here, input mismatch exception. And also it already helped you like write the like code for you to like continue input until the program receives the desired input in this case. So you can directly use this structure, but the only thing you need to do is that you need to like adjust the content inside the try clause, and also the change the I would say the like information, change the information that what you want to print inside of the catch clause here. And otherwise, you can directly use most of the code. And for the continue input, it is actually similar. You don't have to change anything. And for you can use this function, actually use this structure for both the read int greater than or equal to, and also for the read double function here. And you can see for the read int greater than or equal to, you can directly use this structure. And inside it, the only thing that you need to like check if the value is lower than the is less than the lower bound or not. Then if yes, that the continue input will be true, and then you will continue to like input until you receive a value larger than or equal to the lower bound. And in this case, And for the read double, it is actually more easier. It is actually easier, as you can like directly use the structure, and the only thing is that you need to like you need to change the next int to next double, and also change the message inside of the catch clause. And this is the compute sum like class. And for the next problem, which is asks you to calculate add the to self-define hex format exception, and then like use this exception in the hex to decimal like Java file. Okay. What you need to do is that, of course, you need to like create a hex format exception, extend from the number format exception, and then like use the constructor to like to override the original constructor, and then input some like basic message here. What you want to put is that this input is not a valid hexadecimal like number, and then this is very simple for definition of the exception. And for the next, I have already provided this like a starter code for the hex to decimal on the canvas. And what you need to do is that you can you need to like change some of the message, prompt message, and also change some of the like error message. The thing you need to like notice here is that for the hex to decimal, you need to like first check if the hex string, the length of the hex string is equal to 0 or not. Things like if you input an empty string to this the program, it will actually throw as an exception. And inside the convert hex to decimal, it will actually throw the exception. And the only thing you need to notice that we have checked all the possibility for the input for the hex decimal number, and then finally you need to like use the else to throw a new hex format exception if there's if it is not a hex decimal that is that we are expecting. And also for the last problem, it is actually test you how to use the like a scanner, and also the to read the content inside the in a file, in a text file. And for this part, it is you can actually directly use a lot of like code, example code in the excuse me, in the code that we have uploaded on Canvas. And what you need to do is that you need to have the like change some like a prompt message to let you like input the file name, to let the user input the file name, and then of course you need to like try catch the some exception things that we there'll be a possibility that the file does not exist here. And also for the read file function, you can actually new a file component object and use the scanner to like take the file. And as we have already like mentioned, we can use the scanner that has next to test if the file has next value or not. For this typical example, we just read the whole line from the file, and then use the pass int integer that pass int to pass the value, and add the value to the total. And otherwise, you need, of course, you need to like use the try catch to try catch the number format exception, and if and also output some error message in this case. Otherwise, if everything is fine and you actually get the total number, and then divided by the like a number of values, a number of lines, which equal to the number of total like integer numbers in the file, and then calculate the average and output the right like example here. In this case, since we know that for the try catch, it will actually like let the program to run like continually when you have some like exception here. So it is for this program, it will actually check all the lines of the file and then output the desired like result in this case. So this is for the homework. Okay, we have actually, let me see. Okay, almost like to the end of the course. And okay, this is I will say this is all the content for this video. And for next course, I will continue talk about the JavaFX and how to like use it. But for now, we will just stop here, and this is all the content and for today's course. And thank you for watching. Okay, I need to stop.